Most people think the Warden is the most dangerous mob, including all of my friends. But I don't think it is. So I'm gonna collect 1,000 of them, just to prove them all wrong. But we can't really do that if we don't have any Wardens. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. And to get a Warden, we need to find an ancient city. Oh, perfect. And now this whole journey will start with you. Oh, wait, I have no way of getting this guy up to the surface yet. But don't worry, I have a plan. My plan is to build a tunnel that leads to a soul sand water stream that brings the Warden all the way up and out of this cave. So let's start by making this hole. That is now the hole done. And now all we have to do is place down this water. Place down a bunch of kelp, so each block is a water source. And now we can place the soul sand. And now what better way to test it out than to get a Warden? Alright, it should be spawning now. Here it is. I'm over here, Warden. Well, I don't think the Warden can fit. So that means we have to make it 1 block wider. So now if I just do this, now the Warden should be able to fit. Did it work? I don't see the Warden here. I think that means it worked. Now look at that. That is our first Warden. Now we only need 999 more. Yeah, this is a big project. And I think now's a good time to mention the plan. Did that sound dramatic? It was supposed to be dramatic. While I'm collecting all of these Wardens, I'm also going to be doing some other things for them. I'm going to start by making a wall going around their entire enclosure. That way they don't wander off. Next, we'll build a mini ancient city just so they feel more at home. Followed by building my very own custom Warden biome. And then finally, we're gonna be making a massive Warden statue. Now, we're gonna start by making the custom wall going around this place. But I have a feeling we should probably lock up that guy first. Just so he doesn't get in the way. So we can place down these fences, and I am pretty sure I got it in. Now the Warden won't get in my way. Now, the final thing I want to do before getting to work on these walls is I want to get 9 more Wardens. So then we have 10 in total. And now that we have 10 Wardens, that means we are 1% of the way to 1,000. These guys actually looked so goofy getting sent up here. Like, why is it spinning like this? Now we can go back to working on the wall. It's going to be covering this whole entire area. And it's all going to be filled up with Wardens. And now we have 2 different wall designs we can use. Either we can use this wall design, or we can use this one. And yeah, it's not even close. We're going to be using this one. So I mean, all that's left to do is to place this wall. And now that the wall's done, we can let out the Wardens, is what I would say. But these guys are gonna get in the way of my future builds. So instead, let's just make the fence a little bit bigger. And now we somehow have to get them out of that fence without getting killed. Oh, I think I know what to use. Now I'm pretty sure that worked. Oh yeah, perfect. Now I have 10 Wardens mad at me. And now I'd say we get a couple more Wardens because I want to bring my total all the way up to 100. And now it's time to get Warden number 100. But only after you subscribe. Because when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be releasing some limited merch. Alright, good. You're subscribed now. So let's name tag it. And now let's bring it up. And there we go. Oh my goodness. And just think about how this is only 10% of all the Wardens. We still need to get 900 more. And now since this tiny fence is practically useless, let's make something like this. And hopefully it attracts all the Wardens over there. So then I can get rid of that tiny fence. Perfect. The fences are now all removed, which means we can now start our recreation of the ancient city. But it's gonna be hard to build my own ancient city if I have no idea what this one looks like. But hey, lucky for me, I haven't explored this one yet. So I can go ahead and loot this ancient city while taking notes on what they look like. Oh, yo, this armor trim's actually rare. Too bad I already have it, but like, I got another. Now, from all that looting, this is what I got. But what did I learn about ancient cities? Well, I learned that there's a lot of deep slate, a lot of skulk, extremely good loot, and a big portal-looking thing. So, it's pretty straightforward. Most of the stuff should be pretty easy to get, except I don't know how I'm gonna recreate that portal. Since if you didn't know, you can't actually get reinforced deep slate. I mean, I did try to in my last video, but like, found out it's impossible. So we are gonna want to start off by getting all of the deep slate. And And what better way to do that than to steal it from the ancient city? Well, let's get to mining it. Now I basically just deleted this ancient city, and I got a lot of deep slate out of it. And now the next thing we need to collect is a bunch of skull. But I think I should start building this ancient city first, just so I can get a bit of a start on it. Now in the ancient cities, they have things that look like that big portal, but they're smaller and they're not the portal. I think I should make 2 of them right here and also right over here. So I mean, we might as well start trying to make it. And now that should be done. Oh yeah, that looks basically just like it. And now let's just do the same thing over here. Perfect. Now, I want to add candles to both of these, just because there seems to be candles everywhere in the ancient city. So let's just grab some of these, and now we can place them down. There, now both of these are complete. But now I'd say this is a decent start on my ancient city. So we should probably go get some skulk now. This guy's gonna come in handy. Now, we don't only want the skulk here. We also want things like the sensor, catalyst, and the shrieker, wherever that would be. But, well, let's get to mining. And now I think this should be enough skulk. And now that we have all of the skulk, we can get to finishing building this ancient city. So the next thing we have to build in this place is an archer tower. I mean, you can't tell me that doesn't look like an archer tower. Well, wait, hold on. What if I just went like that? Yeah, I definitely didn't mind this entire thing for one tiny clip. Okay, but now let's build up this tower. Just like that. I know, honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. Looks pretty good for a mini tower. And now next, we should be making a loot place in this ancient city. Because it's just that, and then we can build the portal. But I should probably get some more wardens. Because we are hoping to get 1,000 by the end of this video. Holy, legit just took all the wardens we used to have and doubled them. Okay, but let's just lead them all over there so we can finish building this ancient city, starting with the loot place. We can use some of the loot we got earlier and fill these chests up with them. Now, both of these chests are full of insane loot. Oh, and we should also go ahead and add this skeleton skull and also a couple candles, which means the only thing we have left to build is the giant portal. Now, we can easily go ahead and build like the base layer of this big portal. So if we just do something like that, the frame is now done. But we still don't know what to make the reinforced deep slate out of. So we can use one of 2 options. So we can use either bone blocks or calcite. And I think calcite looks a lot better. So let's just change the bone blocks to calcite. And now the statue is done. And now I want to infest my ancient city with a bunch of the skulk I got earlier. So you can go ahead and watch me do that while I get some more wardens. And now I may have gotten a little carried away. I got another 200 wardens, making the total over 400 wardens. Yo, if this is what 400 wardens looks like, I wonder what 1,000 is gonna look like. Oh, and also all the skulk is now placed. Now next I was gonna start making the warden biome, but I have something I want to do before that. I want to make this custom warden armor. And now if you're wondering why I want to do that, honestly I have no idea. I just thought it would look cool. But now to actually start making this armor, we need to turn a bunch of leather into leather armor, just not leggings. For that, I need to make diamond leggings and turn them into netherite. But now this doesn't really look like warden armor, hey? So we can start by dyeing all of the leather armor black, and now we need armor trims to make it actually look like warden armor. Now I say we start with the boots. For the boots, I need the wild armor trim. Wait, I was just gonna make something about like me trying to find these, but apparently I already have all of them. So now we can add the trims to all of the leather armor, and now we just have to do something for these netherite leggings. And it may or may not have something to do with these netherite ingots. Perfect. And now this warden armor is done, and it looks very good. I mean, hey, don't you guys agree? But now, so the wardens can always look at this armor. I'm gonna put it at the top of this tower, which means the warden armor is now done. And now you already know I want to get another 100 wardens. So if I just do this, we are now officially halfway to 1,000 wardens, which means we can now work on the custom warden biome. Now we're gonna be making this warden biome right here. That way, when you go through the portal, you can enter the warden biome. Now this warden biome is gonna look pretty similar to this ancient city I made. We're gonna be needing skulk and a ton of deep slate. So let's just start by mapping out the area. Now, all of this grass is going to be replaced with skulk. Now, I guess I could just go and replace all the grass by hand, but that's a little boring. So instead, I'm going to be using these skulk catalysts, because if a mob gets killed around them, then it just makes the blocks around it turn to skulk. So if I place a bunch of them down and get a few more wardens, here's 1, 2, number 3, and finally number 4. And now we just have to wait for it to turn to night so they can start killing all of the mobs around here. Now, as you can see, the skulk has already started to spread. So now let's just AFK and see how this method works. Well, it's been about an hour and I don't think there's been any progress. So let's just do this all by hand. And now we're done. Yo, what the heck? Why are there wardens just floating over here? What would happen if I actually flew over here? Oh, what? How many wardens went flying out of their cage? Yo, there's even a warden all the way over there. Oh, now I have to move all of them back in the cage. And now all of the wardens should be back in the cage. So now we can go ahead and do the finishing touches to this tiny warden biome. Like trees, for instance. It can't really be a biome if there's no trees. Like, come on, this isn't the Soul Sand Valley here. Now, for trees, I think it would look best if we used basalt for the log and then skulk as the leaves. And all right, it doesn't look too bad. Let's just go ahead and build some of those around here. And now once we remove all of these blocks, the warden biome is now done. And now this place is starting to really come together. And I think it's gonna look amazing when that giant warden statue is done. But before we can get started on that, we need to collect some more wardens. Starting with you and working our way all the way up to you. Now just come right this way and go up there. So now we officially have 750 wardens. It's so laggy around here. There's so many wardens. But now the final thing we're gonna be doing is building this massive warden statue. And now to build this massive statue, we're gonna need over 20,000 different blocks. And one of which is gonna be this. No, not the sheep, the wool. Black wool to be exact. Good thing I made this wool farm back in my Jurassic World video. The only problem is none of them are the right color. So if we just quickly dye them, we can now AFK in here until we have all of the wool we need. And now hopefully all of this wool is enough. But now we need a lot of this blue netherwort block. So if I just go up here and give it a little tap, we now have all of the netherwort we need. Oh, and also the planks. And now there's a few other tiny little things we need. So we can go ahead and collect those. And now while I'm building this warden statue, you also get to watch me collect the rest of the wardens we need. Wait, just 1 second. While I was working on building this, something bad happened. You see, as I was building, a bunch of wardens got mad at me and killed me. And well, I was in shock. I just stood on that screen for 5 minutes, not saying a word. That was until I decided to do this. Well, I might have just died, but I still want to go ahead and finish off this video. So if I just go ahead and do this, the warden statue is now done. And now we can also go ahead and add the rest of the wardens. And now look at that. We officially have 1,000 wardens. Now all we have to do is surprise my friends with all of these guys. And now this is what 1,000 wardens looks like.
Whoa! Oh my gosh.
That is crazy. How did you get them all here?
Dude, that's insane.
But now let's see if they still think the warden is the most dangerous mob before I tell them that I died. Do you still think the warden is the most dangerous mob in the game?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I still do.
All right, well, I also have one more thing to tell you. I actually died while doing all this.
Oh no.
Oh, really?
So the warden is the most dangerous. That's proof right there. It ended you.